Hello friends, a warm welcome from Aussie's Group. My name is Malcolm and I'm your PT coach. So friends, back I'm today again with all of you on a very important thing, and that's the speaking module. Now, as most of you would know, speaking is the most important module in PTE, and if you can't get a good score in speaking, chances are very high that your score in the remaining modules won't be good. That's the problem. So that means that we need to get a high score in speaking, and generally, according to me, the only good score in speaking is always a perfect 90. Now, if you want a good score in speaking, two things are most important as per the PT guideline. The most important thing to get a high score in speaking is what we call oral fluency. And the second most important thing is what we call pronunciation. So my class today, my session today is mainly going to be based on the delivery of speaking, because many times people don't get the concept right and they think that they should do something in a certain way. Many times, like, people get suggestions from friends like, you can speak like this and get a 90 very easily. So for some people it is very easy to get a high score in speaking, but for everyone it is not that easy. So I'm going to clear a few misconceptions, and then it's going to be easy for you guys to understand that what exactly is the meaning of oral fluency and what exactly is the meaning of pronunciation. Well, Dr. Amanpreet Sood is saying good morning. So ma'am, a very good morning to you as well. Very happy to see you every time in all the live sessions. Hope you're doing well in India. Well, coming back to the main thing, oral fluency means that you should not hesitate when you speak, and the flow should be good. And you cannot speak the way I'm doing right now, because it seems as if I'm thinking and then I'm speaking. So if you think and you speak, you can't speak fluency, as you can understand. You can feel it in my voice right now. It's not smooth enough. So if it's not smooth, the software will not give you a good score for fluency. And if your oral fluency score is not high enough, you cannot get a good score in speaking. So everything rotates around oral fluency and pronunciation. Now, coming back to the main thing, what exactly is oral fluency? Like, many times I've seen that people generally link fluency with speed. For example, if we speak so fast the way I'm speaking right now, the fluency score is still going to be 90 because I'm very fluent. Fluency means the flow, the rhythm in speaking. But obviously, the problem is that if you speak so fast as I'm doing right now, it's difficult for the software to understand. And if the software won't understand what you're speaking, you'll get a bad score in content. And obviously then the speaking score goes down. And that's one of the reasons why you would have seen, like, many scores, people get 90 out of 90 in oral fluency, but still the speaking score is like 71, 72, or sometimes even lesser, like 68. So try to understand one thing, friends, that the score of fluency and pronunciation go hand in hand. Like, both needs to be balanced. Like, you need to get a good score in both. Now, coming to the main thing, like, what is the correct speed? So always remember the basic principle on which any software works. You can't be very fast and you should not be too slow. You have to find a balance. Balance means a normal pace which a software will understand. That's the first rule of speaking fluently. Whatever speed you're speaking at, try to get it assessed from a qualified tutor who is knowing about PT at least, and go for the feedback from a qualified tutor. So definitely you can use our service which we have on PT tutorials on our Telegram group. As you all already are sharing a lot of samples, keep on sharing the samples, and our mentors and our tutors, they will reply back to your messages definitely. That's the first thing. Second thing is that don't speak too fast, because if you are too fast, as I'm saying again and again, the software will not be able to understand what you're speaking. Third very important thing for fluency is that always take pauses after a certain sentences, or after a few words, always take pauses. If we don't pause and we speak very lengthy sentences, then again it's difficult for a software to understand, because native speakers, generally those who are from America, Australia, or Britain or Canada, they always take the correct pauses. If you don't take the right pauses, the score goes down. Thirdly, to get a good score in oral fluency, you should not take too many pauses also, because many times I've seen that people take pauses again and again and again and again. So if you take a lot of pauses, then again the score goes down. That's not what you're supposed to do, because for fluency means you're fluent. And if you take a lot of pauses, like if you're going to pause at every comma, every full stop, then obviously you won't be considered to be fluent as per the software. So if it's a very lengthy sentence, then and only then try to pause at a comma as well. If it's a short sentence, then I would recommend pause only at a full stop. No need to pause at a comma if it's a very short sentence. So again, now people think that which are the correct commas to pause. So generally, you'll have to use your common sense, because at the end of the day, PT is a software. For any software, you need to give what the software wants you to give. So basically, you have to speak in meaningful chunks. Meaningful chunks are words or group of words which make some meaning. So after every meaningful chunk, there should be a small pause. If there are small pauses, the software understands. If the pauses become too lengthy, then again the score of fluency goes down. So it's mainly about the correct pauses and the correct speed. So generally, again remember friends, I'm using the word generally. It means most of the times, but maybe not always. Generally, if you are able to finish a passage of read aloud in approximately half the time of the bar, that is approximately, let's say 20 to 25 seconds, approximately, again, that is a keyword over here. Generally, that's more than enough to finish any passage in read aloud. So that is basically what the software measures. How much time you take to finish that part of the passage, or how much time you take per sentence or per phrase. So try to keep that point in mind. It's very important that you take the right pauses. Now similarly for describe image and retell lecture, many times I've seen that people memorize templates. Now the problem with templates is that if you don't use a template correctly, you can't get a good score. That's another problem with using a template, because people under pressure of delivering that template, firstly you have to remember the template, secondly you have to fit words in the template, and thirdly there's a lot of disturbance in the room because everyone speaks at the same time. So with all these problems, you can imagine it is a bit problematic in the real exam. So even if you're going to use templates, just be a bit careful with those templates, because as I'm saying again and again, don't speak too lengthy sentences, don't speak very short sentences, and take the right pauses. The whole game is, it's a software. So try to understand what the software wants for you. So Rafael has commented, the master. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, and good to see you over here. Soon you're going to get 80 as well. Thank you for commenting there. Well, Manisha has a question. Hello, how do you check your pronunciation? And Syed has mentioned that, hi Malcolm sir, I got only 18 in pronunciation. How to improve it? So I'm going to come to pronunciation very quickly, but as I was discussing about fluency, I wanted to finish that part first. And then I'll definitely answer your question, how to improve the pronunciation score. But as I was saying, mainly don't speak too lengthy sentences and never speak too short sentences also. And the worst thing for oral fluency is when we think. Because when we think, we can't speak fluently. And then we take pauses like, the speaker is talking about India. Also, the speaker talked about Sri Lanka. India is a beautiful country. On the screen, I can see many colors like blue, black, and green. So it's not fluent, as you can understand. A lot of pauses because I'm thinking and then I'm speaking. So then obviously you can't get a good score in speaking because it's a software. So try to be a bit fluent and always take the correct pauses. Very important. Well, Mandeep has a question. Hello, sir. How are you? I'm good. Thank you, Mandeep. I'm facing problem in repeat sentence. So I'll tell you what to do about that as well. Well, even Mohammed Idris has a question. Sir, my oral fluency is 70 and pronunciation is 10. What are my weak areas? Well, firstly, Mohammed, thanks for asking. And thank you, Mandeep and Manisha for joining in the video, and Syed as well. Well, Mohammed, the thing is, your problem is with fluency. If you're getting 70 in fluency, the score of 70 out of 90 is not enough. If you want a perfect score in speaking, which is 90 out of 90, you need to get a perfect 90 in oral fluency. Like every day, on an average, every day, 2 to 3 of my students get 8 each. And you pick up any of the students, generally, I post the scorecards regularly on the group, as you would all be seeing. The score in speaking of any student of mine is always 90. Almost always. Out of 100 people who get 8 each, 99 people get 90 in speaking. Maybe one off student gets 8 each, not by getting a 90 in speaking. It's very rare, but generally it's always 90. So what I'm trying to say is that fluency is the key. So if you got 70 in oral fluency, believe me, Mohammed, it's not enough. You need to get 90, which means you need to be more fluent in the first 4 tasks of speaking. That is in read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, and retell lecture. You need to be very fluent. You cannot think. And basically, you should not take extra pauses. and you should avoid extra pauses, and you have to take the correct pauses. Now coming to the second very important thing after oral fluency, the second in priority is always pronunciation. Now, as all of you know, and as few of you have commented, that the score in pronunciation which you've got is very low. Now the thing is that if you want a good score in pronunciation, few things are very important. The first thing is the position of the mic. Now the best position of the mic as per PTE itself, and I'm not PT, I'm a certified trainer, but I'm not PT itself. Now according to PT, the best position of the mic is always below the lips. That is between the lips and the chin. That is the best position, because it's not too far from the mouth and it's not too close as well. So generally that's the best position, and you can get a very, very high score at that position. So kindly keep the mic somewhere over here below the lips and between the chin. So you can keep a hand like this before you start the test, and the end of the rod of the mic, that should touch the part of your palm, that should touch your finger, and your palm should be below your lips. So generally that is the best position for the mic. Secondly, in the real exam, people around you are going to be very loud most of the time, as many of you might have experienced it. So listening to them, you should not become too loud. You have to speak at your natural volume. It should not be too soft, it should not be too loud. Like many times, many female test takers, they ask me that, Malcolm or sir, I've got a very thin voice. Like many of my friends tell me that I need to be very loud. So generally I tell them back that it's not like you have to be very loud, but yes, if you've got a certain type of voice, then we need to speak in a certain type of way. It's all about the voice, the modulation, the pitch, the volume, and the position of the mic. So generally these things are most important, and if they don't go according to a plan, then obviously the score in speaking and pronunciation goes down. Now, how to get a good score in actual pronunciation? Basically, we need to understand what exactly is the meaning of the word pronunciation. Pronunciation mainly means the sounds which come out of our mouth. So if you want the score of pronunciation to be very high, and a very high score would be, let's say 80 or 90 or something like that, then we need to be very clear. Now again, people misunderstand what exactly is clarity, and people start stressing on the words, like the way I'm doing right now. I'm stressing on the word stress. So ideally we should not stress so much, because it's not required to be done. That's the first reason. And the second reason is that all of the test takers, not all, but let's say 99% test takers of PTE are non-native speakers of English. Native are generally American, Australian, British and Canadian. These four are generally considered to be native speakers of English. Remaining everyone is ideally a non-native speaker of English. And if non-native speakers of English stress a lot on words, the way I'm doing right now. For example, let's say you're doing describe image and you say, in front of me is an image. In this image, I can see that the maximum value is 40 and the minimum value is 20. Also, I can see that. So you can hear my voice is going up and down a lot, and that is not good for the score. So try to keep a very neutral voice. Don't be too loud, don't be too soft, and just be relaxed when you're speaking. If you're relaxed, if your voice is normal, for example, if this is the full volume, your volume should be somewhere over here, approximately. In the bar. Just imagine you're listening to music and you've got a music system in front of you, and the bar is moving as per the sound of the singer. So if it's too loud, it's going to be here at the top. If it's too low, it's going to be over here. So ideally it should be in the center. So keep your voice balanced and keep it flat and steady. So generally, don't stress on words at all and keep your volume very normal. That is the best way to get a very high score in pronunciation. If you can master the art of taking correct pauses and the correct pronunciation, that is the correct flat way of speaking, you will get a very high score in pronunciation. Well, now the question which Mayuri has asked, hello sir, what is the difference in maintaining a flat voice? Is it like reducing the intonation? Yes, that's right, Mayuri, you are absolutely right. Flat voice means reduce the intonation. Speak without intonation. Keep your voice very flat and normal. So that's the best way, and you're absolutely right. In short, yes, flat voice means without intonation. That's right. Well, Pia has a question. Hi sir, I got a problem in repeat sentence. Is there any trick to crack repeat sentence? Well, for repeat sentence, generally the best thing is you need to understand the sentence in phrases. If you understand the chunks in the sentence, part by part by part by part, you need to train your brain to understand the phrases. That is the best trick according to me, and that's what I suggest to everyone who asks me for a trick, because until and unless your brain starts to understand the phrases, the brain can't repeat in phrases. And it's written very clearly in the PT guideline as well. If you read it, I don't know, that the software will try to understand how well you're repeating the phrases, because native speakers always try to understand the phrases and repeat them as if they are phrases. For example, if the sentence is, "It's a beautiful day today, but I don't know what to do." And if I repeat like this, "It's a beautiful day today, but I don't know what to do." So obviously it's not going to match with the audio, right? It is not exactly the way it was spoken. If it's a native speaker, he will or she will reply like, "It's a beautiful day today, but I don't know what to do." So basically, you should also try to understand in the same way and repeat in the same way. If you practice in that way, it will take some time, maybe 1 week, getting used to it, but that is the best way. So always do a bit of bulk practice in repeat sentence, like 30-40 questions a day. And the best time to practice repeat sentences is in the morning. Every morning for 15-20 minutes, practice like 30-40-50 questions together, quickly. Listen to the audio, repeat the answer. Listen to the audio, repeat the answer. Don't check the answers in between. Just keep on doing the same thing for 30 questions. Your mind will find a way. But you need to give some time and you need to follow. You need to be disciplined. That's the main thing. Alright. Hope I answered your question, Pierre. Thanks. Well, Kin has a question. How to read aloud such that fluency, pronunciation, and content is maintained? Could you please read aloud one passage for us? So at the moment, I don't have any text with me, Kin, so I'm really sorry I can't read aloud. I'll give you an example, something like this. Just imagine that I'm reading aloud something on the screen. Okay, so it should be something like this. "Hi everyone, my name is Malcolm. I'm from India. I'm taking PT to improve my English. I hope my test goes well. Thank you." So as you heard, very flat pitched, and I was just pausing at the full stops for a millisecond or something like that. I was not too fast and I was very clear to understand, as if the Microsoft Assistant is reading for you, the text-to-speech assistant, something like that. So try to keep your voice very flat, take the correct pauses always, and don't rush through the audio and don't rush through the passage. It should be very leveled delivery of the answer. So that's what you need to do. Where Dinuka has a question. What is the correct pace to read aloud? So I just gave an example, Dinuka, but as I said that for every person, the pace is different. The clarity is different. For example, I might speak fast, a bit more fast than what you would speak, for example, and still manage to get a 90 in everything. But let's say if you speak fast, for example, you might get something like 80 instead of 90, because the software might not be able to understand what you are saying. So for every voice, it's different. There's no like one fixed speed, and that is what we need to understand. Like many times I've seen even on the group, like on a lot of groups on the internet, I see that people just post the app, like a voice pitch analyzer or some app. Now the problem with these apps is that firstly, I don't trust these apps. I mean, what I hear is what I trust, and what I see is what I trust. So it's very difficult to rely just on an app. So if the app shows that your pitch is high, it is not necessary that the app is accurate. It's an app. It's based on an algorithm, and the algorithm is always fed with parameters, and a human being has designed those parameters. Now the human being who has designed that algorithm on which the software is based, I mean, it might be accurate, it might not be accurate. Why should I trust another person instead of myself? So basically that's the thing. So try to keep your voice very flat and steady, and I would suggest all of you not to rely too much on these apps. They are not that accurate, that's why. The other problem with apps like, text-to-speech apps like Google or any other platform you might use, they are a bit intelligent, and that's why it's called like they use artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence means even if you make mistakes, these apps will correct your mistakes. And then what is the point of using the app? I mean, if the app is not giving me an accurate representation of my pronunciation and fluency, it is useless. So don't rely too much on these apps. That's my point. Well, there's one more question. Hello, sir. How can I correct my pronunciation? My name is Surinder. So hi, Surinder. I believe you might be from North India, maybe somewhere around Punjab. So hope you're well. The thing, Surinder, is that many Indians, especially from West India, for example, I'm from Gujarat. I'm from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I'm a Gujarati. Like many people from where I live in, they have a very strong accent. Very, very strong accent. Similarly, people maybe from the south of India also have a very strong accent. Similarly, people from North India, even they have an accent. People from East India, for example, Kolkata, Orissa, even they like have a certain way of speaking. Now, we need to speak in a way which is accent neutral. Like many times Indians or people in the Indian subcontinent stress a lot on words. Now, if you stress a lot on unnecessary words, then the score goes down. And many times people rush through words. They eat half the words. Sometimes we repeat the words. There's a problem with the sir and sh sounds. A lot of sounds are different in the different areas worldwide. So mainly I would suggest that don't stress on words. Keep your voice very flat and neutral. And that's it. Don't be too loud, don't be too soft. Just speak in a neutral pitch, and that's it. That's it. Well, Indika Harini comments, "Hi sir, nice to see you. Can you please do one RA?" Thank you so much, Harini. It's nice to see you over here as well. As I said, I can't do an RA myself, but it's something like this. You need to speak at a neutral pace. Like, "Hi, my name is Harini. I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm taking PT to improve my English. I hope my test goes well. Had I met you earlier, I would have got 8 each very soon. Maybe not now." So something like that. So basically we need to speak at a very flat pitch. The voice needs to be relaxed, and we should not eat the words. Eat away the words. It should be very clear, and don't stress, that's it. And as I gave you the feedback yesterday itself, you're pretty good and read aloud, so no need to worry, okay? Thanks. Well, Radhika has a question. "Sir, do we need to put intonation in RS? RS is repeat sentence." Yes, Radhika, intonation has to be there in RS. Because in repeat sentence, the instruction at the top says, please repeat the sentence exactly as you hear it. Exactly means exactly. That's why we need to copy the intonation also. Because native speakers speak with intonation, especially in sentences. So kindly copy the intonation, tone, everything in repeat sentence exactly as it is. Well, Sneha has a question. "Hi sir, can you give example of sharp and heavy voice, please?" Yeah, sure, I can. For example, "My name is Malcolm. How are you doing today?" So this is a very sharp voice. And the same thing like, "Hi, my name is Malcolm. How are you doing today?" So this is a very thick voice, a very bass voice. And generally this is the voice which gets people 90 very easily in the exam. So if you can speak like that, it's going to be great for you. But at the same time, like if you have a very shrill voice, a very sharp voice, it's still okay, but you need to get the correct volume. Everything, it depends on your volume, how you speak. So if you can speak at the right volume, you will get a very high score. And with the correct intonation, like in most of the tasks, there should be no intonation. In some tasks, there should be intonation. So we need to understand how we need to perform in every task. Once you understand that and you practice accordingly, it's very easy. Well, Dhaval Pandya has a question. "Hi, what is the best format for describe image?" Well, for describe image, any format is okay as far as you take correct pauses. Generally, I don't recommend formats which are very lengthy. They are useless because you have to memorize them, and under pressure, you might forget them. Even if you don't forget them, you might be too fast or too slow. So I would suggest you can also create your own format, but whatever you use, try to be very fluent and practice it a couple of times. And remember, any format which is difficult is not good, according to me. It defeats the whole purpose of, performing in the test. Under pressure, people do silly things, as you can imagine. So you can create your own format, but see that the sentences are not very lengthy. They should be appropriately worded. That's the main thing. Well, Sneha, okay, so thank you so much. So I hope you understood what I was trying to say. Alright, and friends, all of you would be very happy to know that we have come up with the latest prediction file for the month of April, and it's live. So thank you so much to the tutors who have been very helpful in creating the April prediction file. And my students have been getting questions from the April file as well. Just today morning, 3 more people have got 8 each. And I'm very happy to share that today, 50 students in the month of March have got 8 each. 50 of my own students have got 8 each. So a very happy moment indeed for me today. And I'm sure many more will get even tomorrow and the day after. There are 2 more days left in the month. So I'm more hopeful that people will get a better score of 8 each. Also, Akshit has a problem in summarize written text. So Akshit, what exactly is a problem? If you mention your problem, maybe I can explain or give you the solution. Well, Kin has another question. How many words or phrases would you recommend to take in SST? Maybe around 15 words, 20 words from the audio, most important. By words now I mean the most important words. Now if you're counting like silly words, then obviously I don't count them. But yes, important words, maybe around 20 important words if you have from the audio, I think that should be more than enough. Should be more than enough. And even if you're picking up like phrases, maybe like 7 phrases, like depends on the size of the phrase. Now 3-word phrases, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 could be okay. If they're very lengthy, then maybe 6 phrases could also be okay. So I don't exactly know what exactly is a phrase according to you. That's the thing. Well, Amanpreet is commenting that thanks a lot for explaining all the things with examples. Congratulations for the half century. So thank you so much, Amanpreet. Thank you so much. Well, Dheeraj has a question. Hi sir, I'm struggling in retail lecture. Is it okay if I speak? Moreover, the speaker also mentioned many times in one RL. Yes, it is okay. Even if you repeat it many times, it is okay. But Dheeraj, please remember that don't speak very lengthy sentences. If the sentences become too lengthy and if you don't pause, then it's a problem. And then the score goes down. So just take correct pauses. Don't speak too lengthy sentences. But definitely you can repeat it a number of times. It's okay. Okay, Mayuri has a question. Sir, when the exam hall is too noisy, will it affect the speaking scores or we do not need to worry about it? If yes, what could be done to tackle it? Some say that we could cover the mic with the hands. Is it actually working? Well, honestly, I mean, it's not required. You don't need to, cover your mic with a hand. I don't think it's important at all. Generally, why some people suggest to do that is so that your voice is echoed. So it becomes a bit more loud. So many times I've seen coaching institutes, they suggest their students that, drink something before your exam and go to the test. Drink something which will make your voice heavy. You can cover your mic like this, speak like this, speak like that. So basically all those things, I don't think they are very helpful. They are not required, honestly speaking, because none of my students do it. I have not told anyone to do it and I don't recommend it either. So it's not recommended at all. And generally if the exam hall is too noisy, then I would recommend you to just raise your hand immediately and just let the supervisor know that people around me are very loud. So when you lodge a complaint, just raise your hand a couple of times, just raise both the hands like that and just be a bit loud and clear, and so that the supervisor can see that you have a problem. So they will come to you immediately and hopefully they'll, just ask the other person to just be a bit more quiet. She's not able to focus. So just do a bit loudly whatever you're doing so that they are also aware that they need to let the other people to calm down. Okay. Alright. As Arslan Hussain has a question, how to practice repeat sentence from the prediction file? Good question. Now the thing is, the prediction file, we have got the answers in the written format. We don't have the audio, obviously. I mean, it's a prediction file, it's a PDF document, so I can't help you with that. From the prediction file, you just have to read the questions. But you can use our YouTube channel, which is called ptetutorials.com. It's the same name, PT Tutorials. Go to our YouTube channel, and in the month of March, we have uploaded the prediction file just for repeat sentence. We have got like hundreds of questions in that file. So please have a look at that video. It's a very lengthy video with the answers and the audio. So from there, you can definitely learn a lot, and those questions can come in the real exam. So all the best with that. Well, Kartavya has a question. If we get confused and we are running out of time, using a semicolon is a good idea, especially when someone is bad at writing. Any handy tips? Well, if you're bad at writing and if you're running out of time, I mean, how does a semicolon come in the picture? I don't understand your question, I'm sorry. But I mean, yeah, you can use a semicolon. Of course you can. I mean, if you can use a semicolon, you can also use a comma. So I am not able to understand your question, Kartavya. I mean, for summarized written text, I understand what you mean for summarized written text. And yes, the answer to your question is yes, you can use a semicolon. There is no penalty if you use a semicolon. So yes, you can definitely use a semicolon. Well, Surinder has again asked a question. Hi sir, suggest a method to improve my pronunciation. Surinder, third time I'm repeating to your question. Please listen carefully. Don't stress on words. Try to speak without an accent. Keep your voice very relaxed. Don't speak too fast. Don't speak too slow. Take the correct pauses. If you do these things, you will get 90 in pronunciation, guaranteed. Thank you. Manisha is saying thank you. So thank you, Manisha. Well, Dinuka has a question. For DI, some say you must speak at least 80 words. I don't know how people generate such figures. I really don't know. It's not like that, but maybe you can speak for around 30 seconds, 35 seconds, At least 25 seconds, yes. At least 25 seconds if you speak, it's generally enough. And maybe if you speak for around 30-35 seconds, that's alright. So in describe image, try to speak somewhere around 25 to 35 seconds. Generally, that much time is more than enough in describe image, 25 to 35 seconds. It's not compulsory that you speak for full 40 seconds. So I hope I answer your question. So what you can do, you can just record your answer, and using a speech to text converter, you can convert your speech into text, and then maybe you can count the words. Just see how many words you speak for approximately like in 30 seconds, and you will get the answer to your question. But it's not compulsory, anything like that. Alright, so hope I answered your question. And Mayuri is saying thank you, sir. So thank you so much, Mayuri. I'm glad I answered your question. So friends, I'm going to end my session now. The purpose of today's class was to let all of you know that please don't speak too fast, don't speak too slow. Don't stress on words in the tasks in which you should not stress. That is mainly in read aloud, describe image and retell lecture. Try to speak with a very flat voice. Also in repeat sentence, try to copy the same tone of the speaker. So basically you should speak exactly as you hear in the audio. Okay, try to do that. And fourthly, try to be very careful with the sounds. Like many times, as I said, I mean, people from the Indian subcontinent, even people from South America, I've seen from Colombia, Venezuela, because we've got a lot of students from there. So they speak in a way where they stress a lot on some sounds, like words ending with ed, es, you know, the pronunciation changes depending on the regions. Like even people from Nepal I've seen, they're not that clear when it comes to the sounds with s and sh. So try to be very accurate with those sounds, and after that, it's going to be all smooth for all of you. So just mainly focus on the correct way of speaking, take the correct pauses, and that's about it. That will be very helpful. So thank you very much. And sir, should I be an expert to score 79 plus in English? No, Sneha, you don't need to be an expert. Remember, so many people get 8 each every day. Everyone who gets 8 each in PT is not an expert in English. They just practice enough and they get the score, that's it. Well, Dhaval has a question. Can you be my mentor for one-to-one coaching? So Dhaval, I'm really sorry, I don't take one-to-one coaching online. I only take the classes in Melbourne CBD area. So the Melbourne CBD branch, I take classes over there. But yes, if you have any questions, so definitely you can post it on Telegram and you can tag me. You can just tag me. My ID is Malcolm90909090. So I will definitely reply back to you. Alright, so thank you friends. Thank you so much. And very soon I'll see you in another live session. Till then, I hope that more and more students get 8 each. Nothing makes me more happy than seeing all of you get your score of 8 each. And very soon we'll be coming up with new content on pttutorials.com. I know many of you have been waiting for the summarized spoken text template, content, whatever you call it. So basically very soon I'm going to come up with that as well. So till then, keep watching and thank you so much. My name is Malcolm. Thank you so much.